Welcome to Vinny's Take number 3. Today I want to talk about two things. So it's going to be Vinny's Take 3 and 4, just episode 3. First of all, I want to talk about something that's a little controversial, but it's going on in the world of sports, and that has to do with the 3 basketball players from the University of California, Los Angeles, or UCLA, getting arrested for shoplifting over in China. Of course, LiAngelo Ball is the famous one, being from the Ball family, and the Ball family could be an entirely different series of videos. But right now we're just going to talk about him and the other 2 basketball players getting arrested. What's controversial about is several people's opinions on what should happen to them. Now, they were brought back home, thanks in part to President Trump getting involved. And no matter how you feel about the president, he did get involved in this and brought the players home where they belong. Personally, I think what they did was ridiculously stupid. Not just shoplifting, but being in a foreign country, breaking the law, isn't the same as breaking law in America. In America, you pretty much know, especially as Division I athletes, that there's going to be a certain amount of leeway, and whether that's right or not, that remains to be seen, and that could be a whole nother video. But you go over to China and you get caught, allegedly, get caught shoplifting. China is not America. They have different rules. They're a different culture. What these 3 young men did was incredibly stupid, and they are lucky that they are Division I basketball players and not just average Joes, because average Joes might have been left to face the consequences. But this, being that they are Division I college basketball players, got a lot of attention. So it was all over our news. Evidently, it was not necessarily much news in China, but in America it was. And with people saying they should be brought home, they should be left, whatever. Personally, I thought they should be brought home because they're Americans. They should have to face the consequences here in America. And what should those consequences be? That's where some people are arguing. Yesterday, watching the Duke-Michigan State basketball game, I watched the commentators talk about how one guy thought maybe a 5-game suspension. Another guy said they should be completely kicked off the team, and that created a stir that no, they should not be. Well, what do you think? What do you think should happen to these 3 players for basically going to a foreign country and embarrassing not just themselves, the school, the sport, but America? Should they be punished? Should they be slapped on the wrist? Should they be suspended? Expelled? Maybe they should think about transferring to a smaller school and starting over. I don't know. My personal feelings is that they should at least be suspended 3 games. But maybe more. Thankfully, I'm not an athletic director or a coach or president of a university, and I don't have to figure those things out. I can tell you there have been cases where players have done far less and been kicked off teams. Maybe not recently, but back in the old days, that was so. My second part in this take. Good time to talk Buffalo Bills. Nathan Peterman's going to make his first start this weekend against the Los Angeles Chargers out in L.A. I am a big fan of Nathan Peterman, and him coming to Buffalo I was very excited for. Mostly, I became a fan of his while at the University of Pitt, watching for James Conner, because I liked his story and how he'd battled and survived cancer. And then I noticed this quarterback, number 4 for University of Pitt, Nathan Peterman. And man, this guy's got a good arm. He's got some accuracy. You know, he's big, 6'2", 225. He can stand in the pocket and throw it, and he can also run. And then Buffalo used a 5th-round draft pick on him, and I'm very excited about that. I personally think that this kid could bring in a new wave of a winning attitude at Buffalo. But is it the time to start him? The Bills are currently 5-4, coming off 2 disastrous losses to the New York Jets and the New Orleans Saints. And personally, the Bills are reeling, they're shaky, they're still in the playoff seed. Thanks to other teams failing this past weekend, they're still the 6th seed and would right now be traveling to Kansas City in the playoffs if the playoffs began now. But they don't. There's still 7 games left. And the Bills are still going to have to play the Patriots twice. They're still going to have to play the Dolphins twice. They've got the Chargers. They've got the Chiefs. They're done with the NFC West, South. They've played all those games. They've played the Bengals, so they've got one game against the Colts. So they got 2 games against the Patriots, 2 games against the Dolphins, the Chargers, the Chiefs. That's 6. And the 7th game being the Colts. So they can go several different ways here. I don't think they're going to end up 12-4. I'm hoping for 10-6 or 9-7 and possibly playoffs. But we'll see. Personally, this weekend is either the start of the next golden era for the Buffalo Bills or the ruination of this kid's career. I have 2 friends who've texted me today. One is the ever optimist. As a Bills fan, he's excited. He thinks it's time since the passing game has been weak lately. The other one is the ever pessimist. He doesn't think it's right, doesn't think it's time. He's afraid that this is going to ruin the kid's career. Well, we're going to find out. But anyway, that's been Vinny's take. What's yours?